I can see the runway lights. We've returned to Paris one last time. It's been 10 years to hell and through since our wide-eyed, red-eyed rendezvous. We were so impulsive then, unbridled, no regret, no discontent. Two vows made, one just in case this didn't work out, we'd come back to this place. There are young lovers here that don't know what they do. There's a hunger in their eyes, it reminds me of you and I. We have come to the city of love to say goodbye. And for so long I had hoped this day would never arrive. But here we are looking down at all these lights while ours is going out. On our backs on Champ de Mars, in the dying grass underneath the stars. The clock strikes 12, the bell tolls as the Eiffel Tower glints and glows. We booked flights on separate planes, threw our wedding rings into the Seine. And cut our lock off the Pont des Arts. Then we said our final au revoir. Walking back to my room, try not to picture you. Crossing bridges all alone, uncertain when this all went wrong. We have come to the city of love to say goodbye. For so long, I had hoped this day would never arrive. But here we are looking up at all these lights while ours is going out. Good. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. My father is a machinist. He builds gear drives, and these gear drives are used to irrigate crops. My grandfather was a cowboy, and he herded cattle in Hutchinson County, Texas, until he retired. And the last few years of his life, he spent living with my family. This song is about their stories intersecting. It's also about change. It's called The Last Cowboy in Hutchinson County. Corporate chain of grocery stores settled into town, ran specials every week, drove the meat prices down. The feedlots came next, then the processing plants. They offered better pay, so the workers left the ranch. But this was one fence the herdsman couldn't mend. It seemed his time on the range was coming to an end. How could he bear to ride in a stockyard pen, confined by steel bars and concrete, or raise a sharp young man to do the same, then waller in old age and defeat? There are those who can never be tamed, like the stubborn last cowboy in Hutchinson County. The machinist builds gear drives that turn the water pumps around to pull the moisture from the earth, from the outskirts of town, to quench the fields of white corn for the harvest ahead, to fatten the longhorn steer, make a damn good loaf of bread wrapped in a burlap rag cut from the sack that held the corn, tucked in the satchel of the herdsman from whom the machinist was born. These are changing times for a dying breed, and for the only son of a simple man who cut the teeth of his dreams on books and magazines, and the World Wide Web in his hand. His future is too bright for him to see. He's the son of the last cowboy in Hutchinson County. At 6 a.m. the shift bell rings, the machinist leaves the shop, hangs his safety hat on the rack, and punches the time clock, rolls the windows down of his four-door sedan at the edge of the parking lot to let some fresh air in the stillness of the twilight. A restlessness ensues that the hum of the power lines and the street lights can't subdue. It's a 3-mile drive through suburban streets. The smell of feedlots fill the air, and everyone at home is sound asleep, except an old weathered man in his chair. The machinist pours a coffee to drink, then sits with the last cowboy from Hutchinson County.
Thank you. Mr. James Lee Baker, everybody.